Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name's Becs. I'm now a final year medical student studying in the UK. It's been a long time since I recorded a video about medical school. When I was studying and revising for finals, it got to a point where I was so tired and I was having to put every single bit of energy that I had into revising and preparing for OSCEs. I just said I have a little bit of energy left and I need to put that energy into exams, not YouTube. And I'm so glad that I did because it paid off, and I'm happy to say that I passed my medical school finals first time. A lot has happened since I posted. As I said at the beginning of the vlog, I'm now in my final year at medical school, and like I said yesterday, I was just flicking through some of my old vlogs from second year and third year, and I just feel like we're at the finish line now. I'm just so grateful that I made it to this stage. I'll just give you a very brief kind of update on what's been happening. So I sat finals in July. Was it July? June, July. We had to wait about 3 weeks or a month to get our results. I got the results. I went to Australia for 2.5 weeks, which was like a life-changing experience for me. It was the first time in many years where I finally felt at peace, completely at peace. And I think it's because I was surrounded by animals and nature, and that's the environment where I feel the most at home. And it just felt like I was coming home somehow. It was the weirdest feeling. And then I had an 8-week elective period where I spent my time at a GP practice, which was around 10-15 minutes from my house, where I got to run my own clinics and see patients, come up with management plans. And it was amazing because the GP gave me about half an hour with patients, so I was able to kind of look at mental health, physical health. I always believe in that mind, body, soul connection, so I was able to kind of tap into all of that and do these consultations from more of a holistic approach, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. And then I started in Gloucester about 3 weeks ago, and I'm now on neuro. But this year is not really about learning neuro or learning endocrine or whatever. It's about that transition between being a medical student and being an F1 doctor. So today, it's Monday, it's only 8:30 AM. I'm going in later on for an on-call shift with my F1 mentor. So I'm going to be starting at 5 PM and then finishing at 9 PM tonight. And this is optional. This is me, you know, I'm basically saying I know what it's like to be an F1 on the wards. I've been doing the ward round independently. I've been writing up the notes. I've been, you know, trying to assist the team as much as possible. But I want to be well equipped to start F1. And that basically means that I want to understand what it takes to do an on-call, whether that be in AMU, ED, on the wards, so that when I qualify and start work and I start my very first on-call shift, I know what to do. So this is why I'm kind of volunteering and saying, I know it's more tricky to do evening shifts and night shifts, but I want to understand the job now, because I don't want to get to F1 and feel like I'm overwhelmed and I don't know what I'm doing. The difficulty is at the moment with the placement is the commute. So I live in Bristol and the hospital is Gloucester, and depending on what time I leave, it can take anywhere between 50 minutes and an hour and 15 minutes to get there. So traveling that much every single day definitely adds a level of difficulty to the placement. But you know, on a normal day I would be getting up at 4:45 to leave early to miss the traffic, and I get to the gym and then go on placement. So welcome back, and apologies again for being gone for so long. Thank you very much for being here. Yeah, I'll just try and show you as much as I can. Welcome back. I've been trying to keep up with my gym routine whilst being in Gloucester. Just boiled some eggs. I've got those in my bag for after the spin class. And then I'll show you what I've been ordering. I'm using a company at the moment called Prep Kitchen, and it's basically protein and vegetables most of the time with a little bit of starchy carbs, and you just put these in the microwave for 4 minutes. My friend also got me this amazing slow cooker, so 2 or 3 nights a week I'll use this, and I'll make, for example, chicken soup with noodles, and then, you know, on the rest of the days I'll have one of these, and then typically at lunch on a day shift I'll bring a salad and then just add some protein, whether that be some prawns or tuna, and then I try and eat fruit every single day as well. And then in the morning I'll have eggs and then some yogurt with some blueberries.
Sunset slow, hey, you know you should stay for the night. What you think? One more drink while we sit by the bonfire. 'Cause this might be love. It's a feeling that I can't get rid of. So just take my hand, 'cause you know I don't wanna play pretend. Stay with me, take a chance, baby, roll the dice. Gotta give me some love, 'cause when I'm with you, I'm in paradise.
Make some coffee as well. It's only 2:15 and I don't have to be there until 5, but I'm going to go to the library before and just do some studying, or I might go onto the ward and just see if they need any help. Put some prawns on top. Let's put a bit of dressing. Oh, I'm a bit carried away. And then I just put the lid on and give it a shake. Check this out. There we go. Meant to be in Gloucester in 40 minutes, but yeah, basically haven't moved for about 15 minutes now. This is what I'm saying about the commute, doing this every day. I mean, I'm not doing this every day because I'm leaving at like 5 AM and I miss all of this, and this is why I get up so early. Because imagine sitting in this amount of traffic every single day. So I headed straight to the ward, and one of the doctors asked me to go and take some bloods. So this is the equipment that we use. This is the blood trolley. So in the first drawer you have all the cannulas, then the butterfly needles. I was very, very happy because I'm not always successful at getting bloods from patients, but on this occasion I was. So yeah, I was very, very grateful that I didn't have to stab the patient twice. We then headed down to AMU, and it was a very exciting and chaotic shift, which I'll talk to you about in a second. So it's 10 o'clock. I'm just about to jump in the car and I'll let you know how it all went. Clara's going crazy. Oh, my back is hurting. So, I'm home. It's 11:15 in the evening. As you can see, my lunch or my dinner is untouched because I didn't have time to eat. So I'm gonna that was by far the best experience that I've had in 5th year so far. I learned so much and I was able to get involved with so many different things. I obviously can't give you patient specific information, but I can tell you a little bit about what happens when you're an F1 and you're covering AMU. So I met my F1 mentor on neuro when I got there, and I said, is there anything else to do on the wards? And there were some bloods to be taken, so I did that successfully, which I was very happy about. And then we went straight down to AMU. Typically in AMU, the F1 gets called if a nurse is perhaps concerned that a patient's temperature has increased, or if they need fluids prescribing or new medication. But generally it's because they're concerned about a patient because their new score is elevated. So it's the F1's job then to kind of review the patient, do an A to E assessment, which is airway, breathing, circulation, disability and exposure, and then you come up with a management plan, you type up the notes. But during that time, because you're carrying a bleep, and that bleep can go off at any time with other jobs that need to be done, it can also go off if there's a resus call, which means that a patient has gone into cardiac arrest in the hospital, and then you have to attend that. So there's a lot going on. And my F1 is, bearing in mind that she's only been in the job since August, is incredible, and she's so knowledgeable, and like I said, I learned so much tonight. So like I said, I can't give you specific patient information, but what you typically see in terms of the most common conditions in ED or AMU are things like DKA, so diabetic ketoacidosis, or infections, which then cause confusion, query sepsis cases, and it's just a case of making sure that you don't miss anything when you do the ATE. But tonight I got the opportunity to take a full history. I met the patient's family and tried to understand what was the cause of this patient's symptoms, and then I did the ATE assessment, went back to my F1, presented the case, came up with a management, prescribed some fluids. So it was really interesting to see what was required from, you know, from a perspective of, okay, F1 on AMU cover, because it's very different to just working on AMU, and you are getting called in so many different directions, and it's a case of knowing how to prioritize, because if you've got 20 jobs to do, and some of the jobs are, for example, discharge letters, which can wait, versus somebody who is potentially, you know, spiking a fever and they need immediate attention because you're thinking sepsis, for example, then obviously that's going to come first. So when you're getting bombarded with all of these bleeps and jobs, you need to know, okay, this is going to be potentially you know, life-threatening or just worrying, then that's what you need to focus on first. But we were busy at one point just kind of discussing a patient, and then all of a sudden the resus call went off and we just left everything behind. And this was my first experience going to a resus. So you basically just leave what you're doing, and then you don't run, but you head very quickly to the ward, to the bay where the resus is. And we got there probably about 3 minutes after the bleep went off saying that there's a resus, and there were probably already about 20 people there. And it just goes to show how efficient doctors and nurses and staff are in the NHS at just getting to these cardiac arrests. I just thought it was just incredible. So we got there, and then we were told to leave because there were too many people already there, which I mean, if they needed help, I would have been more than happy to help in any which way I could, but it wasn't necessary at that stage. And then when I was doing some cannulas on another patient, I wasn't with my F1 anymore, and I could hear that there were some more recess calls going on. So I think there was 6 in total, and I was there from about 4 until 10 maybe. So yeah, quite a lot. But it's obviously it's a terrible event, and you know, it's important for us to understand as future F1 doctors what is expected of you in that situation. And ultimately that has to be the priority. You just leave everything and just go. But I really enjoyed tonight, honestly. There's something about being in a chaotic environment for me where I really thrive, and I think maybe it's because I grew up in a very chaotic environment as a kid and as a teenager, and maybe that's just where I feel the most at home, because chaos is just normal for me. You know, I don't know, but when I'm at GP sometimes and I'm kind of sat there for 8 or 9 hours, although I love the interactions with patients, I just find myself getting quite restless and I get itchy feet. Whereas in ED or in AMU, you're just constantly running around thinking about, okay, I need to go and take bloods here, and okay, now I need to go and do a cannula, and now I need to take a history, and all my bleeps going. And that was the experience tonight. And although it's stressful, I mean, it wasn't that stressful for me because I was just helping out. I can see that as a newly qualified doctor, when you have that bleep and there's so much going on, it can be very stressful. And especially when it's evening time, obviously you're more tired. So, but it gave me really good insight into what to expect, and I can't wait just to start as an F1. And I know that I still have so much to learn, but the feeling that you get when you go and see a patient who is unwell and their whole family is there, and you can just try to be as kind as possible and reassure them that they're in good hands, and you know, just update them as to what you're doing for them. And I don't know, there's just something so satisfying about that. And I think in ED and AMU, because things need to be implemented quickly, if you were to give fluids in that moment, you can check on the patient an hour later and you're seeing the result of that, you know, of that, what's the word I'm looking for? Of the action, you know what I mean. I'm tired, I can't find the right words. So yeah, I really appreciate the help that I got from my mentor. So obviously I can't go into detail about patient cases that we saw, but yeah, I'm just glad that I got to experience that, and it was definitely worth the journey to Gloucester. And even if it's a late one tonight, tomorrow I have a day at home with Clara, where we have one day off a week where we do what the university call admin and reflections. So I'm gonna have quite a lot of stuff to reflect on tomorrow and to write about. But overall, yeah, really enjoyed it. But on Wednesday I'll be going back on the wards at 9 o'clock in the morning until around 3, and then we have a prescribing tutorial from 3 until 5. So I'll make it happen. I will vlog again on Wednesday. Again, I can't take you on the wards, but I can just give you a bit of a rundown on, okay, as a 5th year or as a final year, this is what you do and this is how things work. Maybe it will be useful if you're looking to go to med school, or if you're going to be a final year medical student soon. But it's such a good feeling, and I feel confident talking to patients and talking to families. I just need a little bit more help sometimes when it comes to management plans, because I think as a final year medical student, if a person has, you know, a fast heart rate and a temperature, and is looking a little bit dry and it's not really peed that much and is not drinking that much, then I always think, oh, do they have sepsis? Do I need to activate the sepsis 6 protocol? But sometimes it's just because they have an infection, and as long as they're stable, so their blood pressure is stable, for example, then it's fine. You can just give paracetamol and monitor. But I think I'm still in that mindset of I don't want to miss anything, and how do you know if you need to call a senior? But I think I will get there. I think the more shifts like this I do, the more I'll be able to recognize, you know, the patterns, and making sure that I'll be able to spot those things quickly. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I know that you understand that I obviously can't take you on the wards because, yeah, that would just be the end to my career before we've even started. But I hope at least just by talking you through, hello Clara, what I've been doing, it's helpful and interesting. But yeah, if you want to have a look at DKA, that's a really interesting condition, diabetic ketoacidosis. So it's basically because of the lack of insulin in the body, your cells can't absorb glucose, and therefore your body starts to panic. You release ketones, which are acidic, and then your kidneys release bicarb to try to kind of balance out that acid. So you'd have high ketones, high glucose, and then bicarb on the VBG or ABG, and then you normally give insulin, so a fixed rate insulin and fluids, and then you monitor potassium. But it's a really interesting condition normally, which affects diabetics, so people who have diabetes type 1 mostly. I don't think you can get it in diabetes type 2, but yeah, it's an interesting one to look at if you're interested in medicine, and it's one that presents quite a lot in ED and AMU. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to drink my tea. I feel quite wired and quite like and I think it's because when you're in that situation where there's so much going on, obviously you feel all of that adrenaline yourself as well. So yeah, I'm gonna eat, put some relaxing music on, put my pajamas on, and then look forward to Clara waking me up tomorrow at 5 AM for her breakfast. Clara's my cat, by the way. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hi everyone, haven't vlogged in ages, so I just wanted to do a quick catch up before we start the week, because I haven't vlogged, like I said, for quite a while, and I just wanted to let you know why. And I also wanted to give you some exciting updates on what's happening at medical school and with my new job. Just some general life updates as well. So if you're new to the channel, my name's Rebecca. I'm a final year medical student and I'm graduating in July, which I'm very excited about. I finished medical school on the 10th of June, so under 5 months from now. So it's been a long 7.5 years of studying and working and being on placement, but yeah, the end is in sight. Next week is my final week on ward-based care at my current hospital. So I've been on wards for approximately 8 weeks. I have 1 more week to go, and then I move over to GP for 9 weeks. After GP, I move over to ED for 9 weeks, and then I finish. Next week is going to be a combination of a few fun things. So tomorrow is my friend Amber's birthday. We do get 1 day off a week for admin. So tomorrow I'm going to take some time in the afternoon and evening to do all of my admin, to do some revision for the PSA, which is my final exam at medical school. But in the morning I'm going to pick Amber up and we're going to do some fun activities, so I'll vlog that. And then, like I said, Tuesday back on placement, Wednesday morning from 9 until 12:30 I have bleep training, Thursday I have a meeting with my mentor, Friday on the wards, and then I'm officially done until I start my new job as a doctor in August. I don't go back onto the wards at all, and to be honest with you, I feel very relieved. What we've been doing on ward-based care so far is doing the ward round in the morning, so assisting the junior doctors and the consultants to write up the notes, seeing patients independently, and then in the afternoon getting jobs done, such as taking bloods, writing discharge summaries, and just generally trying to help the team. Ward-based care for me is, I don't want to say boring, but it's very samey. So pretty much every single day you go in, you do the ward round, then you do the same kind of jobs. Whereas GP, I find that I have so much more independence. So we run our own clinics, we see patients independently, and I just feel like more myself at GP. And I think it's because I just have more independence, and I guess having worked for over a decade running my own business and seeing clients on my own as a personal trainer, it just brings me back to that same kind of vibe where I'm calling the patient in and I'm having these consultations, coming up with management plans. Whereas I feel ward-based care is more about, I don't want to say just being a secretary, because that's not truly accurate, but you do spend a lot of time writing notes and doing discharge summaries, and it's just a different feel. You'll see if you go to medical school, or if you're at medical school, it's just different. Yeah, so let me tell you also, so on my last vlog I was telling you that I felt a little bit unwell and I had this rash on my neck, and from September until the day that I broke up from medical school for the break on the 17th of December, I just felt really run down, and I was getting these viral illnesses. And I'm sure if you live in the UK you experience this as well, and it was literally just one after the other. I would get better for a week and then I would just get another one, and then the day after I finished for the 2.5 week break, I literally just crashed, and I got so ill with bronchitis, which is basically a chest infection, and I didn't leave my house for probably 2 weeks, only to go food shopping. I didn't train, I just didn't track my calories or my macros, I just ate whatever I wanted to, and I gave myself a proper break. And it was lovely, it was really nice. So now I'm getting my health back on track, I'm training again, I'm eating well, I'm tracking my food. So yeah, that's why I didn't vlog. I just needed to take some time away from YouTube. The other bit of good news that I wanted to share, my closest friend Amber, who you will know from probably my vlogs and Instagram, is getting married in October. And she's asked me to be one of her bridesmaids, which is so exciting. So I think 2024 is going to be an amazing year. We've got graduation in July, end of medical school in June. I go to Bali for two and a bit weeks in July to celebrate the end of medical school, my friend's wedding in October, my birthday in August. So there's just so much to look forward to, and I hope that I can bring you along for just lots of exciting stuff. So if you're new, I hope that you stick around, and if you're coming back, thanks for bearing with me. I do my best to just help you as much as possible, and not only via YouTube, but I've been running interview sessions to help, you know, medical students or potential medical students on Zoom. I've been speaking to people on email. So this takes up a lot of my time and energy, and I love doing it. I really enjoy being supportive and helping those who are serious about going into medicine. But like I said, sometimes I just feel a little bit overwhelmed with it all, and I just need to pull back. So yeah, like I said, just thank you for bearing with me with that. So the plan today is to do some studying, because I have my final exam of medical school on the 2nd of February, which allows junior doctors to prescribe. So even if I fail the PSA, I will still graduate as a junior doctor, but I won't be able to prescribe. And doing the job of an F1 without being able to prescribe will be a pain in the backside. So I have to pass this exam. There is a section on calculations, a section on data interpretation, prescribing. I'll show you in a second, but what I've been doing is just doing the mock exams on the PSA website, and then we've had tutorials at the uni every Wednesday, and then I've just been following some YouTube videos to understand more about, for example, fluids, and I'm getting there. My score has gone up from about 45% now to about 75%, and the pass mark is normally about 65%. So, and it's open book, which means that we have access to the BNF. Just so excited about finishing this journey as a student and thinking about a new adventure and starting my new life as a doctor, what that's going to look like. It's just quite surreal and overwhelming that after all this time it's finally happening, you know. If you're not aware of my journey and my very non-traditional path, there is a video on YouTube that tells you the whole story. It's my very first video 2 years ago. If you go back to that, I'll take you along for my final week on ward-based care at my current hospital, and I hope that you find it inspirational, educational. I hope that you'll stick around. Any questions, as always, leave them down below. Open now. Open now. It's animal day. It's amazing. Oh, look at these little guys. They're so cute. It looks like a baby's cage. Thank you. Do you like it? That is very cute. That is very cute. So big. Oh wow. Oh wow. Whoa. We'll share that bit. So I've just found this series online, Prescribing Safety Assessment series by, I think it's Mind the Bleep. So I'm just going to do a few questions, and I thought it might be interesting for you if you're looking to start medicine or if you're doing medicine at the moment, just to see what these questions look like. So let's go through a question.
Next question. We have a nurse looking after Jean. She's 78 years old, and the nurse informed you that Jean appears to be more confused than usual this morning, is trembling and is slightly clammy. She appears cachectic and did not eat her breakfast. So these are quite important information in the question stem. She's type 1 diabetic, she's had a recent DVT, and she's on these following medicines. So she's on some insulin, and she's on a Pixaban 5 milligrams BD for her clot. The nurse kindly measures Jean's blood pressure, blood glucose, and the finger prick capillary glucose is 2. Jean is not able to converse with you, and you're concerned about her level of consciousness. How would you manage this condition? Prescribe one drug to manage it appropriately. So I've got another poll.
Oh, I'm just going to pause it. So this is, I think, hypoglycemia. Whenever you see a blood glucose below 4, the way that I remember it is below 4, you're on the floor. So what you need to do is give this person some dextrose, either 10% or 20%. And I suspect because she's in hospital, she'll have a line in already, so you can give that IV. So because she's not able to converse with you, you wouldn't go for anything oral. So yeah, you just give 10% dextrose. I think over 15 minutes, but yeah, let's check.
Right, if you have a look at hypoglycemia,
yeah,
it's one of the options there. Then it tells you everything you need to know. The aim of the treatment is to give 15 grams to 20 grams load of glucose.
I'm just watching The Edge of Darkness with Mel Gibson. I'm having a chilled evening with Cara. For those of you who don't know, this is my cat Cara. Very chilled. So I will see you tomorrow.
Tuesday afternoon. I got back from the hospital just a little while ago. I am feeling quite tired and cold today for some reason. I was planning to go for a walk, so I put my hat on, and then I just decided to make some coffee first and do a little bit of studying before going out for a walk. So I have the PSA exam on the 2nd of Feb. I'm using this book, Past the PSA. I got this off Amazon for around £30, and it has a combination of questions, mock exams, and also some really useful explanations as well. And then I made myself some notes, basically just some important things that I really don't want to forget. Oh, it's very blurry. 75%, pass mark 60, so I'm happy with that. I'm just gonna go for a walk. So my goal is to do 8 to 10,000 steps a day. I'm just a little bit short of that now, so I'm just gonna go around the marina. It's so cold today. Have you ever had an instance where you're about to do something that completely pushes you out of your comfort zone, whether that be doing something at work, or maybe going on a course, meeting somebody for the first time? So tomorrow I have bleep training for 4 hours in the morning, and I'm feeling quite nervous. So as we know, the way that we communicate with ourselves, so our self-talk dictates how we feel about any situation in a given time. So I wanted just to share some tips on how I deal with feelings of being nervous, feeling like I'm just about to step out of my comfort zone, whether that be in medicine or in life in general. And years ago I would let feelings of nervousness just overwhelm me. I would catastrophize and think that the worst case scenario would happen. I was going to fail. What I came to realize is we can manage the way that we feel about a situation just by the way that we communicate to ourselves beforehand. My lips are frozen, sorry. So the feelings of being nervous and the feelings of excitement are very similar. So what happens when you're excited? Your heart rate goes up, you breathe a little bit faster, you move a little bit more swiftly, and just your general physiology changes. So if you say to yourself, I'm so excited about going to bleep training tomorrow, I'm really excited, automatically it changes the way you feel. And it's so simple, but if we go down the route of saying, oh my God, I'm so nervous about tomorrow, automatically then it goes to another level, and we go down this rabbit hole of thinking about all of the worst case scenario things that could happen. So for example, what if, that famous question, what if I have to prescribe this and I don't know how to prescribe it? Then I might be asked to resit year 5. You know what I mean? So instead, what we can do is just rephrase the question. I'm really excited about tomorrow. I get the opportunity to go and do this bleep training. What if I manage all of the patients correctly and then prove to myself that I'm ready to start F1 in 6 months, 7 months? What if I could really put 100% effort in, enjoy the process, have fun, and debrief with the CTFs and just fill in all of those gaps in my knowledge that I'm lacking at the moment? What if I could do that tomorrow? How amazing would that be? And I tell you, if you do that, you feel completely different to if you talk to yourself in a derogatory and in a negative manner. So yeah, I know a lot of you want to go to med school. There are so many moments in medical school where you feel like you're being pushed outside of your comfort zone. and I love it. I love it because as soon as I feel uncomfortable, it means that I'm pushing myself and I'm developing myself as a person. I'm growing, and I'm developing into a new version of myself. And in my mind, that's what life is about. It's about stepping outside of our comfort zones and always challenging ourselves to become better. So I hope that helps. I'm going to finish the walk and I'll see you in a bit. It's a hard life, Clara, isn't it? So guys, I'm just going to chill out for the rest of the evening with Clara. And I will see you tomorrow in the morning. First bleep was an increase in blood pressure to 178/78. Baseline is 165/90. But the patient is scoring 0 on their news score. So I've decided not to go and see the patient, and I've asked the nurse to call me back in 15 minutes. I forgot to ask the name of the patient, but I did get the MRN number. So now I'm debating whether to go to the ward or not. But yeah, let's just see when they call back what their blood pressure is. I think I'm actually going to go. I'm going to go to the ward just to have a look at the notes. Stressful. So I think I'm probably going to have to do 8 to E. I think you said 7F. So I just got bleeped because one of the nurses said there was a pigeon on the ward, but it had flown off, so I don't need to go and check it out. What the heck? But it was a joke call. It was a prank, so it's all good. I've come all the way back to the cafeteria, which is about a 5-10 minute walk from where I just had the emergency call, which was basically a lady with a blood pressure of 88/68 who had had a PR bleed, but at 250 mils. So we would answer the bleep, and then the person on the other end of the phone would tell us to go to the ward, and then upon arrival we would open the folder specific for bleep training. So again, these are not real patients, these are completely made up to help us understand what is expected of us as an F1 doctor when responding to bleeps. And we were given all of the information. We would normally have to carry out these assessments ourselves. So the A to E assessment, we would normally have to look on the system for blood results. This is a list of all of the patient's medications, which is really important to review because in certain cases like AKI or before surgery, you have to stop certain medications, and these are all of the fluids that this particular patient had been given. You know, this was the first time in 5 years that I felt like a real doctor. I spent the morning reviewing ECGs, so this was suggestive of a pulmonary embolism. I was running around all of the different wards responding to bleeps. Some were quite minor, some were emergencies, and it was my job to determine whether a call was low, medium, or high priority. That was a PE, query PE, but he'd been admitted with a DVT, sudden onset, shortness of breath, chest pain, D-dimer 5000. So immediately I thought PE, but I didn't know really what to do. So I called the SHO and she asked me to interpret the ECG. It looked like there was some ST elevation, so then I thought maybe he was having a STEMI. Yeah, that was a tricky one. I didn't realise, but you basically changed the enoxaparin from a prophylactic dose to a treatment dose, which I didn't know. So that was a really good learning opportunity. I'm just going to go and have a drink. It is 12:30. Now I'm ready to finish. So after this, we're going to go and do a debrief with the clinical teaching fellows. I'm hoping that when the bleep goes off next, it's going to be to say to go back and do the debrief. But it's been really, really good, very intense. I'm hungry, thirsty, and I need a break. So I'm just making some dinner. This is peri-peri chicken. It's going to go in the oven in a second. Some whole wheat pasta and lots of veggies. So I'm having spinach, and underneath I've got some cherry tomatoes. So I'm going to end the vlog here. I hope that you enjoyed just seeing a little bit more clinical stuff. It's really tricky for medical students, anybody working in the NHS, to film, you know, on the wards, because there's so much patient info, and you know, I'm so close now to qualifying that I just don't want to do or say anything to mess up. Yeah, it was really, really a good experience, and honestly, it takes so much brain power. And I finished the session and it was only 4.5-5 hours in total, and I was absolutely just, I don't know, not tired as such, but my brain felt tired. But that's probably a good thing. It shows that I'm using my brain to think about management plans and so forth. But it was really helpful. The CTF was, you know, really good at giving me feedback with regards to things like prescribing gentamicin. I made an error when I prescribed. I gave the patient too much, but again, it was training, so it's all good. I didn't hurt anybody in the process, and I will definitely remember in the future to use a different calculator online. And also, just for each scenario, he gave me 2 or 3 questions to ask if I get bleeped about, for example, high blood pressure, what to look out for, what are red flags, pulmonary embolisms, what you need to ask the person on the other end of the phone, in the case of emergencies, what you need to document. It was super, super helpful. And although obviously I missed a few things, or quite a few things, and I probably escalated a few cases that I didn't need to, I could have managed them myself. It was brilliant, really, really good learning curve. So yeah, I'm really happy that I did it. And yeah, I'm just gonna relax for the rest of the evening. I'll do some more vlogs. So I'm gonna finish on ward-based care this week, like I've said, and I start GP on Monday for 9 weeks. So obviously, again, I'll try and give you some updates, what GP is like in 5th year. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to run our own clinics, and yeah, I'll keep you up to date. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that you stick around, and I hope that you enjoyed the vlog, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Hi everyone, I hope that you're doing great. So today is my final teaching session of medical school. I've really been kind of like battling with, on one hand, still pushing to finish, and then on the other hand, there's a part of me that really just wants to start to slow down and calm down my nervous system. So I'm kind of in limbo at the moment. I don't want to take my foot off the gas fully, because I think I just need to do it slowly so I don't crash. It's been 7.5 years since I started with GCSEs, then the access course, then this 5-year degree. And now that I'm coming to the end of it, I do feel a little bit out of sorts. It's like a change of identity almost. You know, you're going from, for me anyway, being a personal trainer to being a med student to being a doctor. and I think it's going to take a while for me to get my head around it. It's almost like I can't comprehend it. But today I have a sim session. I'm going to drive to Gloucester now. It does take me an hour to get there from Bristol, and I will not miss this commute. I've been doing 90 miles pretty much 4 or 5 days a week for the last year. So I'm very excited that I'm only going to have to do this drive a few more times, which feels amazing. But welcome to the video. Right, let's go to Gloucester.
He's been assessed to not have capacity. At 8 p.m. the nurses found him on the floor next to the bed.
So the sim was a communication station where the patient had fallen out of his bed and fractured his hip, and my job was to communicate with the daughter, who was understandably very upset and very angry, and explain what had happened, come up with next steps, and also answer any questions that she had.
Surely that's not going to help the situation. I mean, if he's having to have morphine, I don't know, but morphine's not good for you, is it?
The problem is, if he's having a lot of acute pain with this fracture, it will make him most likely more agitated, and that's something that we want to avoid. So we need to try and, there's a balance, isn't there? I think we need to try and keep him calm, out of pain if possible, but not obviously give him so much that it's dangerous for him. So we're keeping an eye on that. The next part of the sim was speaking to one of the patient's neighbours who was calling up to get some information, and it's really important never to divulge any personal information to somebody on the phone that is stating that they know the patient. So I had to politely explain that this wasn't possible, but I would ask the daughter to give her a call once I'd finished the discussion. Do you have any other siblings, or who else is? No. Okay, fine. And it's, again, I'm coming back to this point, but I think it's really important for you to be supported as well, because you're obviously taking care of your dad now, and it must be a lot for you to deal with. So if you want to take a step back out of the situation and have a conversation with us about what's going on for you, I think that's something that we should and we must do, because we want to look after your dad, but we want to look after you as well. So don't ever hesitate to come to us for a cup of tea and a chat as well. It's not just about medical stuff, it's about supporting you as well. Thank you. Is that all right? Yeah. Apologies if you can hear the microwave, but on the way back, no, not on the way back, during the sim session, I got an email to say that our final assistantship has been reviewed by the uni. They have released our marks. They're not really marks. Basically what they do is they deem this particular assistantship as satisfactory or non-satisfactory. If it's, I'm so sorry, if it's non-satisfactory, then you obviously have to do it again. So I'm going to check now. What happens is you get signed off by your consultant mentor, which is in the particular hospital where you're based, but then it has to go for review by the actual medical school. So if this has been deemed satisfactory by the medical school, that's pretty much me done, as in signed off for everything. So let's see. Satisfactory, which basically means that, yeah, I'm gonna graduate. Oh, honestly, I feel like I'm gonna cry, but I'm too hungry to cry right now. So I'll eat and then I'll just take it all in. Last night I received an email from one of the staff at Bristol who supports care leavers and estranged students. And I think this is what
this is what made me, first of all, realise that I've come to the end, but also just reflect again on my upbringing and feel just immense gratitude for what Bristol have done to support me over the years. So last night I got an email from this lady, and it basically said, because you are a care leaver, you are entitled to a graduation package, which is a meal for 2, a night in a hotel for 2, and also a £50 voucher to buy something that has Bristol Medical School on it, or the University of Bristol, like a hoodie or a sweatshirt or something. And they don't need to do this, you know, they are under no obligation whatsoever to provide anything. Sorry. I think what it's bringing up for me is, for the first time in my life, I feel valued and I feel seen, and it feels so overwhelming because for many years as a kid and as a teenager I felt like a reject, like I was just being kicked around by different institutions and children's homes, and I didn't ever feel like people were seeing me for my potential or just for what I could bring to the world. And I think having gone through this experience from applying to Bristol Medical School, and for the widening participation team to believe in me and to give me this opportunity, and to see that I would never hurt anybody, and you know, that I am kind. And these are things that I was also always told that I wasn't, you know. I was always told that I was cold and I was evil and this, that and the other. And for a complete stranger to see the potential in me from the get-go, that felt obviously amazing. But over the years, I've received so much support from this particular medical school. I'm not sponsored by the uni for saying all of this, it's really coming from the heart. And all the way along, whether I've been in a situation where I've been, for example, triggered, or you know, where I've struggled to sit in a seminar because they were talking about something that was very, just triggering to me, I received support. When I ran out of money, if I needed somebody to talk to, if I was going through anything, there was always someone there. Every single Christmas I received, you know, I received a Christmas box with, you know, pens and a colouring book. And even at the age of, you know, 38, 39, 40, 41, these things bring so much joy to my heart, because again, these are things that I never got as a kid. I was like forgotten at Christmas and birthdays, and it took me going to medical school to almost live a childhood, you know, with getting pens and paper and money for food. And I'm just so grateful, and it's so overwhelming now to feel like not only have I completed these 5 years, and that feels amazing, and I'm going to be a doctor, but I feel so overwhelmed with, again, just gratitude and love for every single thing that this particular uni has done to help me change my life. And not only that, but I see myself differently now. I see myself as a loving human being, and all of the stuff that I was ever told growing up, like I'm stupid, like I'm just cold and evil and I'm the devil and everything, the worst things that you could possibly say to a child. I know that they're not true, simply because of the, you know, the support and just the welcome that I've had from Bristol, and I just can't put into words how grateful I am. And I'd really like to be able to do something nice for every single person that's helped me, but apart from just buying a thank you card and making some banana bread, there's not that much I can do. But if anybody sees this from Bristol, I honestly just want to say thank you, because you've changed my life. And I make a promise that I'm going to go out in the world and not only be the best doctor I can be for my patients, but I want to continue to inspire you guys out there who are watching, that you are so deserving of being seen and being happy and being fulfilled. And if anybody around you is putting you down and making you feel like a reject, you know, like I did for many years, then find the courage to walk away and to start from scratch and to build your own life. Because when you get to the other side, it's the most beautiful feeling. And I wish I could kind of share what I'm feeling right now with you. But yeah, I'm very, 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 very grateful, and I keep having these moments where I'll be driving to the gym or walking, and all of a sudden all of this kind of energy and gratitude just comes up, and I just have to release it through tears. So these are happy tears, they're not sad, but I want to share everything with you, even, you know, when I'm perhaps at my most vulnerable and I'm not kind of giving you talks about motivation and mindset. I think these moments are also really beautiful, and I want to cherish them. So I'll see you in a few days when I hand back my badge and I say goodbye to the team at the hospital. Thank you for listening. So I've just driven to Gloucester. I've got my medical student badge, lanyard, pass, expenses, everything. I was just saying to my friend Anna, I feel very, very out of sorts today. And I think it's just because it's so much to take in and a lot for me to get my head around. And I don't quite know how I should be feeling, but right now it's almost like I don't want all of the emotions to come up right here, right now, because I'm just about to go in and say goodbye to a few people and then walk out and drive home. I honestly, I don't even know what to tell you right now. So I think the best thing to do is for me just to go and sort out everything that I need to, and then I'll check in with you a little bit later. Hi everyone, I wanted to do another check-in before I end the vlog, and I haven't really vlogged anything since I handed back my ID badges or anything like that. Nothing really that drastic has happened since I finished medical school, but a lot of people have asked me, how does it feel to now be officially finished after all of this time, all of the exams, all of the placements? How do you feel? And it's really interesting. It doesn't feel real. That's the only thing I can really say right now. So I think what's going to happen is it's going to hit me in a few weeks or in a few days. I don't know. I'm waiting for it to happen. I'm feeling, as usual, lots of gratitude, lots of love, lots of, you know, positive emotions. But the reality of this chapter coming to a close has not yet hit me. That's where I am right now after finishing a few days ago. So what have I been up to since finishing? I've been doing a lot of admin. 7 Deanery is where I will be based for F1 and F2.
And they have been, so far, amazing. I've received all of my kind of correspondence, paperwork. I've had to fill out a lot of paperwork to order my, badge and stamp, and, just getting things sorted for my new role. I thought that I would be starting on psychiatry immediately, but I'm actually doing 3 weeks supernumerary shifts at one of the hospitals in Bristol in emergency GI surgery, which is, I didn't expect to do this at all, but they've been sending out a lot of correspondence about registering to do the ALS course, which is Advanced Life Support, which I'm very excited to be able to do. They've also communicated about study leave, annual leave, sick days, who to contact for what. So like I said, everything has been very organized, but there is so much paperwork to fill out, return. Yeah, so there's a lot to kind of sort out, but my official start date is the 30th of July, and we have one day, which is an online intro, and then I start at the hospital on the 31st. I stay at that hospital for 3 weeks, and then I move to psychiatry for 3 months and a week. And then, like I said before, I move on to cardiology, and then I move on to surgery for 4 months. So 4-month rotations times 3. And I'm just super excited. I'm excited to just start work as a doctor. It's a steep learning curve, I'm sure, but I'm ready for the challenge. So this is gonna be my last vlog as, I guess, a medical student, as a final year, med student. And I just wanted to say thank you for watching my videos. I'm gonna be posting more videos very soon. Obviously they won't be about medical school anymore, and I think I'm just going to take a bit of a break, a bit of a step away from making videos about, studying, how to get into medicine. If you send me messages over the next few weeks and I don't reply, then please understand that I'm going to be taking just some time to rest. So I will be leaving the UK on Sunday, the 9th of June, for approximately 4.5 weeks. And I will be most likely uploading videos on my Instagram. I will probably take a break from YouTube for a little bit just to kind of decompress, but you are more than welcome to follow me on Instagram, and I'll put the username in the description box, but it's simply at Exploring with Dr. Becs. So it's Dr. Dr. Becs. But like I said, I will post it down below. It is a private account, so just send me a follow request and I will accept that, no worries. But just bear with me. Sometimes I just don't have, the headspace and the time to reply to every single person, but I do my best to keep up to date with everything. But sometimes it's good just to take a step away, especially after having been on this journey now for nearly 8 years. I just feel like I need a bit of a rest before starting this new job. I'm gonna go and just pack a few things for my trip. So I'll just do a quick time lapse for you for that. I'm very excited, and I'm very excited to share some things on Instagram. But yeah, thank you very much for having watched my medical school vlogs. I'm very, very grateful to have succeeded and to have completed medical school. And I can't wait to share what life is like as an F1 doctor in the UK. So anything that you want to know, just send me a message on Instagram or in the comments down below, and I will be sure to make some videos for you. So please take good care of yourselves. Thank you very much for watching as always. Please subscribe, please comment, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Rebecca Sarah Bradford.